Welcome, friends and enemies, to episode 91 of the Adventures of the Bane Glorious. We've got everybody here. We've got Simon.
Hello.
We've got Ed.
Hello.
We've got Jess. We've got Kathryn.
Hello.
And we've got Adam.
Cuckoo.
Previously on the Adventures of the Bane Glorious, if I can remember, because it's been a while, you had been spending some time aboard the flying city of Erallur, ostensibly getting some intel about a meeting that was going to take place in a building called the Archividium. You had gone through various of its strange metaphysical chambers and encountered some odd magic, some mimics, and each other having split off from the party at various points. You managed to do a little bit of reconnaissance on the meeting room itself once you worked out that the building seemed to bow to your requests of which room you wanted to go into. And Erallur investigated it, but not entirely safely to her mind, as she seemed to go through a little bit of a time fluctuation and encountered Vigo and a few other people that she has previously met, but apparently in a different place at a different time. And on coming back, her powers seem to have shifted a little bit. You then spent the remaining weeks, once you had left the Archividium, preparing even further and deciding who would go in at what point. It was set out that Vigo and Saluk would observe from the balustrade above the cylindrical tower room, and the rest of you would see if you could observe using some form of scrying screen that the building seemed able to provide you with. Ed, can I check a detail with you? Because I can't remember. Do you have Truffle with you, or did you give him to Saluk and Vigo?
That's a good question. I mean, I don't have a note about giving him away.
I don't think it was specified because obviously we knew you gave them away when we scouted out the building, but I think when we left and came back, I don't think we decided.
Yeah, so I would assume that I still have Truffle.
Okay, I just wanted to double check because I genuinely couldn't remember, and it's been so long since I edited the episode. I didn't want to assume anything. Mm-hmm. So you went to these chambers. Saluk made a little bit of noise on his entry into the tower room, but fortunately it seemed as if nobody was yet present at the round table below. Once you had set up the room for you to observe through, you were briefly set aback by the fact that somebody seemed to be looking directly at you in said room, but it turned out that this was the lady staring at a wall, apparently, bedecked in a tight white dress in the bodice, but then with a hooping skirt with a black outline of an hourglass upon the forefront of the skirt, hooded, but with wide shoulder cut. And you also saw other people in the room, including Enna and Lucan, the half-elves that you had met and had some dealings with, including Juniper casting a gas spell on Lucan in order to stop him from telling the meeting what was going on. You also saw Hobbleknock the Goblin, a metal contraption sitting next to him. You saw the merchant that you had seen before with the strange skull mask and his odd dog with the strangely skeletal head as well. And you also saw Kieberdur, Juniper's father, and another Juniper. These are the people that you see in the room at the moment. There are some seats that have not yet been occupied, however, and some people are seated, some people are standing up and seemingly chatting with each other as the lady turns round to face them, but she doesn't call the meeting to order yet. Is there anything that you would like to do in this gap before the meeting begins?
All of these people present, from our vantage point, how do they seem to be around one another? Do they appear to know one another? Are they happy to see one another? Is this quite cold or icy? Or...
I would say roll a perception check for that. Well, no, insight, I suppose. It's still wisdom, but it would be an insight because you're looking into their feelings more.
Yeah. 18.
Not bad. The Skullmasked Merchant is near people, standing near the seat that is next to the one that Lucan is sitting in, but hasn't engaged with anybody. And you can see that the dog keeps close at heel and just seems to be staring pretty steadily at the lady. The rest of them, Hobblelock and the metal man contraption thing, seem to be talking a little bit, but it's mostly Hobblelock saying things quite quickly, and the head of the statue thing nodding occasionally with a soft wheeze. The rest of them seem fairly staid in their feeling. It's not as if it's a meeting of old friends.
Okay, I'll just continue watching.
Okay.
Am I sure this isn't a mirror?
Roll a wisdom check.
Okie dokie. Do not have high wisdom. Oh, it's a 13, which is much better than I deserve for a +1 to wisdom.
You look at your friends and you look back at the observation window.
Okay.
Your friends aren't in the room, so
Logical.
it seems like it's not a mirror. And when you've turned your head, you also notice that the other you doesn't turn hers.
Yeah.
So probably not a mirror.
Okay.
I love a bard's concept of a low stat.
Yeah.
It's
What
only
a
13.
wild world.
I don't have a single minus, I don't think. This is how crazy my life is.
Jack of all trades, bro.
Yeah.
Good for you.
Yeah.
Does
dream.
the other Juniper look exactly like Juniper, or is there any difference in colour or size or...
Roll the perception check.
I think Juniper should be the correct.
Yes, I apologise. I stepped on that pun and I really appreciated it before. But yes, bringing it back, Jess. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
21.
21. The clothes are different.
Mm-hmm.
The fur tone and general cast of the face and muzzle is exactly the same.
Okay. Who am I stood next to?
That would be up to you in the room. There is Flint, Erallur, Juniper, Maud, and I think that's it. Yes, because Saluk and Vigo are up top.
I make my way over to Erallur and lean over to her ever so slightly and go, I'm not having a bad dream, am I? I thought he died. How is he alive?
Well, there also seems to be another Juniper there, so maybe there's another one of him too.
Oh, so confused. And I glance over to Juniper. How is she looking?
Roll an insight check.
At least this takes away the guilt of killing her dad.
Yeah, true. 21.
Juniper, how are you looking?
I think Juniper's now stopped touching her face to see if So yeah, I think her first reaction was definitely focusing on the Juniper. And she's only just sort of noticing her dad. And she's again very confused more than anything. Pause in front of her face. But yeah. Does Juniper think... so Juniper's ascertained that this isn't a mirror. Great. Could Juniper... I think I would like to see whether or not it's any sort of illusion or...
Ooh, okay.
What that would be.
That would be an intelligence check. Any illusion detection is down to intelligence.
An entire +0. Oh, and it was an actual 20. That was nice.
The one stat that you have a +0 on, you roll a nat 20. Are you
Hey, I also
kidding?
have a +0 on strength. I can screen share if you like.
Ridiculous scenes.
It is ridiculous, but also I do not, as Jessica, think this is at all an illusion. So in a sense, this is a completely wasted roll.
To be fair, yes, but also due to Juniper's knowledge of magic, I think it would make sense that this would be a fairly high roll.
Yeah.
It's just that the dice have backed up the story once again, which is really nice because they don't always do that. It's not it's not an illusion. No.
No. I'm so surprised. Juniper's surprised, but Jessica is unsurprised.
Yeah. So in the time that you've taken to ascertain not a mirror, not an illusion, a couple more people have arrived. You see two, again, familiar faces. One of them is a fire genasi called Bastion, who you last saw going into the fire plane that you allowed him and a dragon to get to. The other is another face from that same chapter, but a rather more surprising one, in that it is the woman you knew by the name of Hope, who is partly elven, you don't know to what degree, but she lives in Silvery Moon and gave you some information that led you further north to where the air cult were going. She was later identified to you as Illustriel Silverhand, sister to the Open Lord of Waterdeep.
I knew she was sus.
Then, once they take their seats, another individual comes in. This one is an elderly dwarven gentleman, very long beard, almost to the floor, much longer than Flint's, but also much cleaner and much more well kept. Wears head of hair in a tight top knot and walks with a staff. And despite the clear wrinkles on the face, their hair is deep brown. There isn't any hint of grey in there. And they are bedecked in a rich blue robe as they go and stride to the right-hand side of the lady's chair and greet her with a slightly obsequious bow. There are now 11 people gathered in the chamber. There is still one chair missing, a person, and you can see that the lady is getting a little bit impatient. She is drumming her fingers on the table, and you notice that the hourglass, every time she does, just makes a little rattle, but no sand escapes into the bottom chamber. Anything you're doing, or are you just waiting further?
Had Sir Luke and Vigo already got in position?
I believe you had, yes, because there was nobody in the chamber as far as you could see before then.
Okay, so from our high up vantage point, can we see all of these people as well? What do we see?
You can from your vantage point, yes, but I will say if you're peering over to look at them in more detail, you would need to make another stealth check.
15.
Okay. Interesting.
Oh, no.
Okay. Nobody seems to notice you peer over. You can see most of their heads, and you spot the one that looks like Juniper most quickly, I would think.
A sense of betrayal goes through Sir Luke's heart as he whispers to himself, "No, not you, little one."
Okay.
So where did you get those cool clothes?
And looks away before thinking it through further. Retreats back past the balcony, back into position.
Okay. The final individual arrives at last and is another familiar face. Less familiar than most of them, however, in that they are a bronze-scaled dragonborn, who again you met on the road up to Silvery Moon and paid for information. This is Onstable, the ranger who gave you intel on where the air cult had travelled. And as Onstable goes to take his seat, you can see that the lady finally gives everyone a sweeping look and a smile, and then takes her seat. The last to sit, however, is the skull-masked merchant, and the dog then leaps up into his lap, and he just places a hand calmly on its head. Welcome, friends. I am glad that you were able to make it to our gathering. I apologize for the remote location, but needs must in these trying times. Juniper, there is an odd emphasis that she places on the word times. You're not sure what it means, but there is a definite thing about your passive perception that just picks up on that little idiosyncrasy. So, I imagine many of you are wondering why we have gathered here. And I am not one to tease. And you see, just as she's about to state the reason for the meeting, Lucan raises a hand, and she pauses, cocking one eyebrow in slight curiosity. It doesn't look like she's been interrupted in quite a long time. And you see Lucan pale a little and then swallow. And Juniper, you sense the charm magic that you placed upon Lucan dissipate.
I do a doggy swear under my breath. Like, cheese and biscuits.
And he says, you should probably know this meeting's being watched. I met some people when I was scouting out, and they're around here somewhere. Do you do anything?
Stay as quiet as possible.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
her vision's based on movement, right? So don't move.
I'm going to get out a cloth preemptively, so if they do see us, it looks like I'm just polishing a pillar or something.
Wait.
It's a great plan. Yeah, I mean, I feel like casting any magic would probably alert them to the fact that we're there. So I think, yeah.
Okay. She lowers the eyebrow slowly and says, well, that's unfortunate. What people, pray? Oh, a bunch of adventurers, I think. Sent here to spy on us. Ragtag bunch. One of them looked like her and points at Juniper. And you see Keybrider shuffle as if he's about to stand, and the whole feeling of the chamber changes as you can see that many people are very uncomfortable with the idea that they are being watched by anybody at all. The lady holds up a hand and says, well, if we have uninvited guests, I would suggest that they show themselves.
Stay very quiet. Also, on a side note, wouldn't it be hilarious if there was actually no one there and they were just like, well, you've thrown off my entire damn pace, Lucan.
They're like an identical group, but they're all like Juniper. They're like alternate versions of us.
Oh, so
on the other side of the room.
So Erallur twins.
Elsie.
It would be Flint, but with two eyes in the middle.
Oh, and a dark goatee and a missing arm. The silence stretches, and then the skull-faced merchant stands. And you notice that the dog is no longer on his lap, but you can't see where it's gone. And he lets out a long sigh and says, I had hoped that perhaps we could maintain the facade for a little bit longer, but needs must. And you see the shimmer as the mask disappears, and long red horns curl into the air, and a tail whips out from under the robe. A very unfamiliar face looks at the lady with a toothy grin. The canines are sharp. The skin is ruddy. This is a male tiefling. Erallur, could you make a wisdom saving throw for me, please?
Natural one.
You remember everything.
Oh.
And you are incapacitated.
Okay, what does that mean?
It means that you cannot move, you cannot react. Your brain is basically suffering from a download the size of a planet.
Okay.
It has short-circuited you to the point that a flush of memories is rushing through your head so quickly and so much information. You know this person's name, but you cannot speak it. And you are so shocked to see him in this place that it is throwing you completely through a loop. The lady looks this person up and down and says, I'm sorry, have we met? And the individual says, no, but I think you might know my friend. And you see the dog starts to stretch. The limbs elongate and the padded paws slip into fingers. The face shrinks back, and you see that rather than the features of any of the races that you've recognized, there is a cloth across the nose and mouth, and goggles sit over the eyes. A long blonde braid swings down the back, and you see a skirted robe adorns and covers the majority of the body of this individual. The lady seems to recognize this person, and she takes an involuntary step back. There is another pause as everybody takes in the reaction, the strange shift, and then this individual speaks up and says, "It's truly good to see you again, Isolde. I thought you were dead." And the lady says, "I'm surprised you thought I would be, given what you've done. And what is it I've done, do you think?" "Well, ruined my plans, for one." And you just see Lucan stand up awkwardly again and put his hand up and say, "These aren't the people I was talking about." And the cloaked figure just goes, "Shh, shh, shh, shh. The rest of you can leave. We've got business to discuss, she and I." "Now, that's quite rude. I have business to discuss with my allies. And what have you done to my merchant friend?" And she sounds quite sulky in this moment, as if this really isn't going how she wanted it to go. Are you doing anything, or are you just letting things play out?
I can't move.
No.
Yeah, I think at this moment in time, we've purely been here to ask to observe. So I think from my perspective, I'm just going to stand there and just let this play out. Obviously, because I'm next to Erallur, have I noticed, like, she's not fallen over? Is she still stood there?
Roll a perception check.
28.
Erallur is standing almost as still as a statue, but you can just see that there is a weird vein popping in the top of her head, and there's an ever so slight shake to her, as if she's vibrating with energy, but she's not moving. And as you watch her, you realize she's not blinking.
Okay, so, but this is uncommon for her. I've never seen her in a state like this before.
No.
Okay. Yeah, so I go from looking at the window to looking at her, and I'm like, there's something not quite right with you, and I don't think it's a good thing.
There is no response.
Flint, has she ever done anything like this before?
No, she's occasionally. I heard before I arrived that she disappeared for some time, but outside of that, occasionally she's sort of gone in and out. I don't really understand the way her magic works, but can I tell what's happened to her?
Roll an insight check.
Another 18.
You don't think that this is necessarily directly involved with her magic. It's been quite erratic whilst you've been in the Archividium, but this is more a physical affliction. You're not sure what might have caused it, but it's not necessarily arcane in nature.
But I've not seen anything like this, ever. I suggest that we keep an eye on her, just in case.
Right.
As you have this brief chat, the silence in the room stretches, and you can see that everybody's now standing up, and a few people seem to have hands lingering near weaponry. And the lady gestures for calm, but nobody pays her much mind. And then she says to this interloper, "So, if I don't know what you've been doing, if my assumptions have been incorrect, why don't you enlighten me?" "We'd like that, wouldn't you?" "What are your assumptions then?" And the lady raises that eyebrow again. And this person says, "Oh, well, I suppose I should confirm your suspicions. I've just been killing time." And everybody's eyes narrow, but the interloper's eyes flick to the hourglass and then back to the lady. "What do you hope to achieve here, Rue? You said it yourself, I'm dead. You're going to try and kill me twice. You know what I want, and I want you to stop, or I can't do that. You've broken something rather precious to me, and I would see it mended. You were precious to me once. Have you forgotten?" "No, I haven't forgotten. But I don't think we're going to agree on this one. I'm just trying to bring everybody back. No death, no time passing. Everybody lives. Everybody survives. Noble sentiment, foolish execution. Just like old times. Well, this has been a little bit of a bust. Apologies, everyone. I must bid you adieu. and she starts to move her hands in a particular swirl. The person that she identified as Rue also moves them, but seemingly in a way to try to counteract the movements of the other. But unfortunately, she does not succeed, and the lady disappears. At this, you see that the people who had been holding onto their weapons draw them. So Enna pulls out her axe and shield. Lucan drops into a fighting stance. Keybrother and Juniper, Key takes out some form of stone, holds out his hand, and the other Juniper takes it. They disappear as well in a flash, but it's different to the one of the lady. You see Hope shrug and seem to fade into glitter as she too disappears. And now the ones left in the room are the Dragonborn, Lucan, Enna, the Tiefling, Rue, Hobbleknock, and the strange metallic person. And they all look like they are threatening each other to various degrees. Are you doing anything?
I would like to save an action. And that action is that I'm readying my weapon for if anybody tries to take the hourglass.
Okay, that makes sense. The rest of you doing anything?
Because these situations generally tend to come our way, I'm going to hold an action if anyone tries to cause any harm to myself or my friends. I am going to shoot them. And Truffler is going to hold an action and basically do the same, except with his gaseous breath.
Got it. Erallur, could you make another wisdom saving throw for me, please?
23.
Your body unlocks, and the information of the two timelines sits much more comfortably. It is still kind of overwhelming, but you've got a better sense of things now, and it's almost as if they're lying side by side. You'd still need to unpack them, but you have your motor function. And
can I just ask, do I believe it?
Roll a wisdom check.
8.
It's difficult given that you've experienced a lot of different magical effects at a lot of different times from your own magic as much as other people's. There is also the slight feeling that it's like a dream, particularly as it features some people that you've met before in different capacities. But the fact that you've never met this tiefling before and have such a strong recognition for him suggests that it might have something more real about it. That's about all you can discern.
Okay. Am I still incapacitated?
No.
Okay. That means I need to choose what to do.
Yeah.
We're behind a sort of door type thing, aren't we? So we can see through, but they can't see through to us. Is it an openable door?
No, it's a screen. There was one door that you came in through that was a gilded door, and then there was a silver door to your right that you didn't go through, but you're watching through similar magical technology to the scrying stone and the scrying screen that you saw during the competition.
So all of these held actions wouldn't go anywhere because it's not a...
Seemingly not.
So I'm going to... Oh, man. I'll go over to the actual door and say meeting room and open it. But
okay.
Not with me there, standing to the side of it and opening it so that it reveals the room, but I'm behind the door, if that makes sense.
Okay. Do you specify where in the meeting room the door appears?
Nope.
Okay. So the door opens and it is just behind Enna and Lucan. So on the right-hand side of the room, which means that the corridor that you're in suggests a non-Euclidean space to this, because you are watching from behind where the lady was, but now this door has taken you to behind where Enna and Lucan are, but the corridor is straight. It's slightly mind-bending at that moment. The rest of you watch Erallur do this with your various held actions as everybody in the room turns towards the now open door and sees all of you except Erallur, Saluk, and Vigo. And
I see the door from where I am.
Roll a perception check. And Lucan goes, right, those were the ones that I was talking about. Well, some of them.
supposed to tell anybody.
Well, I know that you tried to stop me, but monks, we can shuffle off charms.
I mean, if you told us this beforehand, it would have been much more helpful.
Why would I have told you that beforehand?
I would have liked it.
Erallur, you are looking at Lucan and Enna in a very different light to how you were looking at them before. Simon, what did you get on your perception?
22.
You can just see the light of the screen coming out from the door. You can't actually see the door itself because of where the balcony is, but you can hear that Lucan has seemingly identified some people within that room.
Okay, I think I'd intuit who that is.
What kind of idiot would reveal themselves? The kind of idiot I've been traveling with.
So you have some actions readied. There seems to be a little bit of a standoff and nobody's really sure what to do. Do you do anything or are you just waiting for somebody to make a move?
Waiting.
Well, if nobody else is going to do anything. With the high tension in the room and the fact that the meeting's a bust, Saluk judges that he should probably act and diffuse the situation. So with his readied spear, or javelin rather, he is going to target the supporting chain for the large chandelier.
Okay.
Is it above?
It is above the table.
But no people.
No, it's not quite wide enough to be hitting people.
You're going to topple the thing over.
The hourglass.
Yeah. Let's do it all again.
And I
You can go back in time, kill Lucan so this doesn't happen.
just do a better job at killing the lady when you meet her in the sewers.
Yeah, can we just go back that far, please?
And I try and break the chain of the chandelier.
Okay, roll to attack.
20.
That hits. Can you roll damage for me? Are you charging it with lightning or not on this occasion?
No, just
Okay.
a standard javelin. And that would hit it for 11.
Okay, so you throw the javelin and the rest of you hear this strange noise as something flies out and then a clang as metal strikes metal. The chandelier shakes and you notice, Saluk, that one of the links has broken but is just holding the weight of the chandelier. Everybody looks up and their focus is currently off the corridor in which the rest of you are standing. You don't know how long that focus might be off you.
I take my second attack.
Okay, you've thrown your javelin. What are you attacking with?
And I flying kick the weakened link.
Okay, roll to attack.
Is that okay? Can we all say if we want to do something at this point, or are we in some kind of order
Well,
of
because Saluk's second attack is part of his attack action, he has to finish that before the rest of you can do anything.
Okay. But that might happen before the chandelier hits the table.
Feasibly, yes, but we'll see.
26.
That will hit.
Oh, wait, hang on. What am I using? Yeah, 7.
Saluk flits over and you see the heads of these watchers gawp open as the Birdman flying kicks the chain and the chandelier starts to fall. As that happens, are you doing anything? Erallur, are you wanting to jump in?
So I would like to, I suppose, step out into the doorway.
Okay.
And then I would like to use telekinesis on the hourglass.
On the hourglass. Okay. So with telekinesis with objects.
Yeah, let me check.
Does the object
Okay.
need to make a saving throw?
Object, you try to move an object that weighs up to £1,000. If it's not being worn or carried, you automatically move it up to 30 feet in any direction.
Yeah, so you just move it. It doesn't make a saving throw.
Can I do that cool thing where you go like Thor? Can I do this and can it like fly into my
Like
hand?
summoning Mjolnir, the hourglass.
But obviously to stay upright, I don't want it to like move around.
There is a brief moment where you think it's not worked because the hourglass was wedged into a hollow in the table, but then you just focus closer and then it whips into your hand just as the chandelier lands on the table and flings debris everywhere. So I'm going to need to make 7 dexterity saving throws.
Just add an hourglass of time to my inventory.
So that's no and no, and then 4 yeses, and then 2. Okay, so the robed woman manages to dodge out of the way of the debris. Onsterbun does as well. The tiefling does. Enna does not, so she gets smacked with a piece of iron. No, it's a diamond chandelier, so she gets smacked with a piece of diamond. Lucan manages to jump out of the way, and Hobblenok manages to duck under the table, and the metal individual takes a hit of a few pieces of diamond to his chest, which dents it, but doesn't seem to damage it too much. On this point, I need everybody to roll initiative.
Oh no.
Because somebody dropping that on their heads, they consider an attack. Okay.
I helped.
Did you?
Did you though?
I don't think this needed to end in a battle.
Oh, we've not had a battle in a while, Jess. Like, Michael was quite clearly cooking something up.
We were due a stupid decision.
He's brought back all of these roll call people that
Most
most of them Elsie
murder.
doesn't even know.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, this person, but I'm like, oh wait, my character doesn't know who they are. I thought you said Bastion was in the room, or did I just imagine you say that?
I did. He is still there. Apologies. That's my mistake. Yeah, he should.
Because that's like the only name I remember.
Well, at least now we know we can go full ham on Juniper's dad.
Yeah, true.
Just come back.
Oh no, he's not there.
No,
He's
he
gone.
disappeared,
Oh,
yeah.
he's gone. Right, okay.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm losing track of the NPCs.
You and me both, mate. Okay, so yeah. So let me just sort out, because this is a lot of rolls. Okay. 25 to 20, anybody? Oh, nice. Adam?
We can't see if Simon's got his hand up.
22.
Oh, yeah.
22 for Elsie.
He's just there like,
Ed?
20 not natural. Oh, I should probably roll for truffle as well.
Oh, yeah.
Have you rolled for Maud, or do you want me to roll for her?
I'll roll for it, don't worry.
And for truffle, I suspect it might be the same. Okay, no.
I'm expecting to see a shattered chandelier when this battle camp kicks in.
This lovingly crafted chandelier miniature is about to rip apart.
Oh look, there it is. Oh wait, that's
If you
the
look
knife.
closely, you can see me.
this whole battle is going to be in slow motion with the chain by Fleetwood Mac in the background.
Yes,
Just so you all
100%.
know that's happening.
Okay, so if everybody pins the battlefield, that will help you see it better. Okay, 15 to 10, anybody?
Oh,
Oh, no,
20 to
sorry, 20
15.
to 15, sorry.
Sorry, yeah.
Yeah, Truffle?
Truffle's a 19.
Lovely. 15 to 10, Juniper?
12.
10 to 5? Oh dear.
God, like the person that got us into this mess.
5 to 1?
Hello.
Oh my god.
I got a 4.
You got a
I
4,
got a
okay.
1.
Oh my.
You got-
Well, but you can't crit fail on initiative, so what's your dex bonus, Simon?
Oh, in which case I got 6.
6, okay.
But does that not mean I thought I still missed the first go, don't I?
No, we've stopped doing that a while ago.
Oh, yes, we decided not to, didn't we? Yeah. 6 then.
Could you, I'm sure you'll do this anyway, Michael, but if you could read out the order.
Yes.
Because I've got my ability that changes the initiative a little bit. So
Yes, I will
might
do.
use it.
Okay, that's great. I think I've got everybody, but we shall see whether I do. So, top of the order is Elsie, then it's Flint, then it's Truffle, then Lucan, then Rue, then Bastion, then the Warforged, then Juniper. After Juniper, it is Onsterbun, then it is the Tiefling, then Maud, then Saluk, then Enna, then Erallur.
The most people there have ever been.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's everyone except Vigo, because I forgot Vigo. So he is just
too busy face palming on the balcony.
Yeah. He is alongside Lucan at 15.
At the same time.
Yeah.
Am I allowed to ask if anyone wants to be moved in the initiative order?
No, you do have to do it on an instinct basis, unfortunately.
Okay.
Sorry, just double checking. Oh, that's who it was. Okay, yeah, so there's Hobblenok as well that I forgot, acting at the same time as the tiefling, so between Onsterbun and Maud. Okay, very confusing, lots of moving parts. So some of you had held actions, but the only person that has attacked anything is Saluk. So given that your conditions were if anybody of your friends was attacked, how do people feel about just letting those held actions go? Because I don't feel that that condition has been met.
No, that's fine.
Yeah? Okay, so Elsie, you're up first. Good luck.
So, would I have been able to have seen if anyone would have noticed Erallur pinching the hourglass? Because everyone's focus was up at the falling chandelier, was it not?
It was, but the chandelier started to fall, so their focus will have come down with it. I would say roll a perception check for that.
25.
Yeah. The woman known as Rue, she noticed.
Okay. That slightly changes what I was going to do then. Oh, yeah, I can't do it on... Yeah, I can only do that on myself. Okay, I'm still going to do what I was going to do. I'm going to cast Minor Illusion and create a replica / image of the hourglass as if it was still on the table and it's been moved somewhere due to the impact.
Okay, where would you like it to have been moved to in inverted commas?
Kind of away from where most people are, so probably in kind of the gap. I'm pointing the screen, not that you can see where I'm pointing, but the side of the table where there's no one there. So, basically where your finger is.
Into that corner.
Yeah, imagine that the chandelier's fallen, the tables, I'm assuming the table's been
yes, and by the way, the room is round and the table is round, but I don't have round pieces. So, yeah, just imagine a little bit. Okay, yeah, so you've cast Minor Illusion, which I believe is an action to create a replica of the hourglass over there. Are you moving anywhere? You're not actually on the board yet. You're in a corridor that is off to the right-hand side of the map.
And then I would like to get my short bow out.
Okay.
So I get that out as like, oh, bugger.
Okay. End of your turn. Flint, your turn.
Okay, so in terms of everyone that's around, obviously this is kind of a mix of people that we know. Do they seem particularly hostile towards us? Obviously, we've dropped a massive chandelier from the ceiling, but how does everyone look? Does everyone look as confused as I imagine all of our group is?
Roll an insight check.
12.
Okay. Lucan and Enna definitely pissed off at you lot because they know Saluk is associated with you and he dropped a chandelier. The rest of them differing. You can't see Hobblenok's face because he ducked under the table that is now crushed and may actually be stuck underneath it.
Okay. I'm going to hold an action. If anyone tries and hurts any of our group, I'm going to shoot. But I'm going to use my free action to just go, right. What the fuck is going on? Let's all talk about this, all right? And that's all I'm going to do. And
okay.
Truffle is where is Truffle on the map, by the way?
Again, down the corridor. You're still off the map, strictly speaking. You're down to the right.
Truffle will stay with me. Actually, he'll fly into the room.
Okay.
Just a little further ahead, and then he's going to hold his breath attack just in case.
Whereabouts do you want him?
So who are the people directly next to him? Sorry.
Lucan, Enna, the tiefling.
Well, Lucan and Enna seem particularly pissed off at us. So, yeah.
About where he is?
Yeah.
Just in that corner? Okay, that's fine.
Only if it looks like he's going to attack us, though.
Got it. Okay. So can you roll a persuasion check for your free action speech, please?
I'm going to use the dice, which has actually been behaving. This is when it doesn't.
Oh,
That's a 2.
oh, a 2. Okay, it's double what I thought it was, given that reaction. Unfortunately,
I just hoped we could diplomatize ourselves out of this, but
you are known as the Diplomatizers. That's the alternative group name. So, unfortunately, nobody seems moved by your pleas.
okay. I'll
So-
still hold my action.
That was your turn and kind of Truffle's turn, given that he moves on his own turn.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so it is now Lucan or Vigo's turn. Okay, it's Lucan's turn. So he is quite confused himself and pauses for a moment. Let's see what he does. Okay, takes into account the metal flying whirly that is buzzing menacingly above his head and just lowers himself into a more defensive stance this time. So Luke, you would recognize this as not yet willing to attack, but seems like if anybody attacked him, they would have to break through more of a defense than usual. That's the end of his turn. Vigo is going to ready his own short bow, but not shoot. He trains it on the back of Lucan's neck, but doesn't loose. It is then Rue's turn. So just let me look up their character sheet. Okay, so that's interesting. She raises her hand and points it towards you, Erallur, and says, well, this didn't go how I thought it would, but it's a pleasure to meet you. Pity you won't be able to speak about me to anyone. And starts to cast a spell. I need you to make an intelligence saving throw, please.
Oh man, if this is going where I think it's going. 16.
You fail, unfortunately, as you feel your intelligence start to drip from
Is this a spell
your
attack?
brain.
Presumably not.
It is a spell attack, yeah, I think. Well, but it's based on a saving throw, so actually it's not a spell attack, it's a spell effect.
It's not an area of... Oh, it is.
It's not an area of effect, it's just on you.
Hmm.
So, unless you've got anything defensive against that.
Well, I have a thing against spell attacks, but spell attacks aren't necessarily just ranged attacks, are they? I don't really know what a spell attack is.
A spell attack is a spell that specifies that it is a spell attack. If you roll an attack roll as part of the spell, that's a spell attack, whereas this is based on a saving throw.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yes, no, it does. I don't think I do.
Okay.
Sorry, I have so many different abilities now. What does Still Their Fates do again? It's in my notes somewhere.
Let me look it up.
Oh, it's on notes that I don't have on this computer.
That's okay. I can find it. Come on, computer.
While you're trying, I will also try. Right. So being at 14 level. Yeah, okay. But they didn't roll for it, did they? So
No, but you did.
one thing I could do is I could spend 2 sorcery points to teleport myself out of the way of an area of effect, spell, attack, or ability. It's not area effect.
No,
And I can
sadly.
get them to re-roll an attack or saving throw. But that, again, they didn't roll. I can teleport myself. That's not helpful. Yeah, I can't do anything. Nope.
Okay. Yeah, let me just double check just in case. Yeah, no, you're right. It's another creature, but it's not yourself, unfortunately.
Oh.
So you take 8 points of psychic damage, and the rest of you see Erallur tense and her hands go up to her head, but she doesn't seem able to do anything about it as her jaw goes slack and drool starts to leak from her mouth. Your intelligence and charisma scores are 1. You cannot cast spells, activate magic items, understand language, or communicate in any intelligible way. You can, however, identify your friends, follow them, and even protect them. You are under the Feeble Mind spell. That is Rue's turn. It's now Bastion's turn. Yeah, he's just going to run across the room. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 towards the door behind Rue, but the Warforged gets an attack of opportunity but misses, and Rue gets an attack of opportunity but shrugs and lets him go, and he just bolts out of the door and leaves, as he is wont to do. It is now the Warforge's turn. Let me just check. Yeah, he starts to clank his way over towards Rue, but cannot get all the way, so uses a dash to get right up behind her. And you see from the metal of his arm, it's a bent arm and it is on a hinge, but you see him straighten it out and then draw a massive sword and then clank it onto the stone in a threatening manner. Seems at least that one is willing to take on the mage in some way, shape, or form. Juniper, it is now your go.
Wow. I was going to calm emotions, but now everyone's attacked, so this is no place for calm. Who knew there was a bimbification spell in D&D?
I did.
Didn't. You did. Okay. Well, what am I going to do? Scroll through all my spells. No, that'll take a minute. I can't do that. Oh, I could take 10 rounds of combat to just sit out. That would be fun. No, I won't do that. I think, you know what? In for a penny, in for a pound. I'm going to animate the chandelier.
Okay, so the shattered pieces of the chandelier rise back up into a semblance of their former form.
Drop it again.
Just on the table. No, I'm going to drop it on Rue, who, as far as I'm aware, her Erallur. What size would you say the chandelier is?
Large.
So it's large.
Yeah.
Cool. So what's its speed? Hold on. What speed? Oh, its speed is 30 feet. Will it?
It will definitely get there, yeah. It's only got to travel about 5.
Oh, right, yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
Great, yes. So I would like to see that, please.
So
I will roll.
with this, can it attack one target or?
So I can give it a command.
Yeah.
So my command can be attack that guy.
Okay. It's just because the chandelier is so large, and because of its shape, if you shunt it towards Rue, it will hit the Warforged and Onsterbun as well, I think.
Yeah, we'll see, because what basically it says, objects come to life at your command.
Mm-hmm.
Each target animates and becomes a creature under your control. So I imagine if I'm mentally saying attack Rue, it would like go over.
Okay, that makes sense. And I suppose because you've basically essentially created a diamond golem.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah.
So I'm kind of imagining what it's doing in order to attack just one person is that it's basically just shooting out a tendril of diamonds towards Rue. Would that be?
It could also do that, yeah.
Yeah, I think that probably makes the most sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, roll to attack for it then. Yeah.
It's a +6 to hit. So let me roll that beautiful dice. Rolling the dice. That is a 16. Does it hit?
Yes, that will hit. She is not apparently wearing that much armor.
Good for her. So that's 2d10 + 2. So I just roll them. Not bad. 18.
18 damage. Okay. So you see this snake of brilliant diamond lance towards Rue as she's still holding her hand out and satisfied with her magic, but it lashes like a whip across her shoulder and she lets out a ah as it does so. That hurt. Is that the end of your turn? Because that's action and bonus action, isn't it?
Yes, yeah.
Yeah. Are you moving anywhere or are you staying in the corridor safe?
I'm going to stay in the corridor. It's not like a safe place to be.
Okay.
Diamond friend.
That is the end of your turn. So it's now Onsterbun's turn. He glances around, shrugs, and sets towards Rue as well. But he can get there and he is flanking her. So he's going to try and hit her with his staff. He misses on the first occasion. And on the second occasion, geez, she's got an armor class of 12. Why isn't that hitting? Okay, so that's Onsterbun's turn. It is now the Tiefling's turn. he is going to walk over to Onsterburn and no, he's not actually. He's going to stay where he is and he is going to cast Eldritch Blast. So how many rays is Eldritch Blast? Let me see. So that would be 3 beams.
Such a basic bitch warlock.
Hey, it's a good attack. Don't knock it. All 3 of those will hit. Okay, so that's 10. 15 points of force damage to Onsterburn. So it's a good hit, but it doesn't destroy him or anything. It bloodies him a little with some force damage as you see the 3 rays slam into different points of his leather armor and seemingly knock the wind from him. That is his turn. It's now Hobbleknock's go. He is going to try and extricate himself from being restrained by the table. He fails miserably with a natural 1. Excellent. It is now Maud's turn. She is going to... Oh, let's have a look. Yeah, Maud's not that intelligent.
Oh, she is a skipstone, so...
You said it, pal, not me. So she is going to lightning bolt, and she's going to shoot it at Lucan, and it is in a 100-foot long line, and it's 5 feet wide, so it will hit Enna and Hobbleknock. So they need to make dexterity saving throws. Hobbleknock is at disadvantage because he's under a table. Let me just look at Maud's spell save. Weirdly, Hobbleknock managed to save even though he was at disadvantage because he rolled a 17 and a 13 and his dex is just enough. Enna and Lucan, not so much. So
not so much.
That's 8d6 lightning damage to both of them. Ooh, 3 and 5, 11. Oh dear. Maud! 4 1s on the next, so 15 points of damage to both of them. So that is that. Lucan, however, I believe, has evasion. Yes, so he takes half damage because of him using evasion. So he only takes 7 points of damage from that as this crackling blue energy streaks from Maud's hands. So Luke, it is now your turn. Look upon the chaos ye have wrought. What are you doing?
Look upon my work, ye mighty. Okay, so where's my javelin?
It's across the room. So you threw it from here and it went across to the other side of the balcony.
Oh, so it's still upstairs. Okay.
Yes, it's lodged on the other side. Just because I assume you threw it in a straight line.
Yes. How high up am I?
You are about 40 feet from the ground.
Ooh, ouch. Okay. Well, I retrieve my javelin.
Okay, that will take you 20 feet of movement to do that.
That's fine. I retrieve the javelin. And then for my action, I am going to dash down to the doorway where everybody else is.
Okay, so how far can you move in a single turn?
So flight is 50.
Okay, so you've moved.
So dash, would that give me 100?
Yes, so you could just get there. So
Okay.
you are in front of the doorway.
Yeah. And I land there and ready my spear against the inhabitants of the room while turning around to say to the group, do we have the hourglass? Elsie,
You will have seen that Erallur summoned the hourglass to her. There is no response from Erallur because she is feeble-minded.
Okay.
There's that moment where I look at Erallur, realize that she's just not talking, and I just point at Erallur and go, yeah, she's got it.
I guess Elsie would not know. I mean, as far as she's concerned, there was something happening before where Erallur wasn't doing anything. And then she just went Thor style, give me the hourglass, and then just carried on doing nothing. So it's just the same thing.
Except now there's drool as well.
Yeah.
Good. If we have it,
like that doesn't surprise me.
then if we have it, I suggest we leave. Leave them to their squabbles. It is the lady that we want, not whoever is in this room.
Okay, is that the end of your turn?
That would be all I can do.
Okay, so it is now Enna's turn. So because of the attack, she is going to move in to Saluk, which triggers the short bow from Elsie, the cannon from Flint, the breath weapon from Truffle, and the short bow from Vigo. So, Elsie, could you make an attack roll? But because Saluk is in the way, Lucan will be in cover and Enna will be in a half cover. So that will add to the armor class of those you're attacking.
Okay. 26.
Okay, that will hit. Which one are you attacking, though?
The fleshiest one.
That would be Lucan. So, yes, even with full cover, well, how much does full cover add? Hang on. I just need to check a rule. Bear with me a sec. Yeah, you'll still hit even with full cover because his armor class is 15 usually, and it doesn't have that much with full cover, so you will still hit him. So roll damage for your short bow.
5.
5 damage.
Yeah.
Okay, I am just going to...
It's been so long since I hit anything.
Okay, so Lucan has not used his reaction this turn, so he is going to use the monk ability to deflect missiles and attempt to catch the arrow. So it doesn't matter because you only did 5 damage and his monk level is high enough. So you shoot the arrow, and he just snatches it out of the air without it doing any damage to him at all. Okay, that's that. So then, Flint, I believe you had your gun readied.
Yeah, so I was just going to shoot at anyone who looked like they were going to attack my friends. So obviously Saluk is in the way.
Yes, so again, it's cover because yours is not an area of effect. It's not a cone. It is a single shot, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, well, it's not good. 17.
Who are you shooting at? Lucan, did you say?
Probably I have a better line of sight on Enna.
Okay, so 17. She has... No, unfortunately, you shoot, and strangely, even though you see the projectile hit her armor and vibrate, the armor seems too tough for it to have done any damage to.
That's okay. In which case, if we're jumping over to Truffle, they both need to make Constitution saving throw, and they need to beat Heady 11.
Okay, it's a 15-foot cone, yes?
Yes, yeah.
Saluk, Saluk, you're immune to poison, and it's poison breath, so ignore me, because it won't do anything to you, so that's fine. Okay, so...
I knew that.
Yeah, I mean, he wasn't in the area originally, so it's a happy coincidence. So they need to be 11, do they?
Yes.
I think they both fail. Let me have a look. Constitution, it's +3. So, oh no, Enna succeeds with a 12. Lucan fails with an 8. So Lucan takes the damage.
So he will take 27 points of poison damage.
Ooh.
And Enna takes half of that. So Enna takes...
13?
13, yeah.
Okay. Oof. Lucan, yeah, that would have really hurt if Lucan wasn't also immune to poison damage.
I knew that was coming.
Oh, that's a shame, isn't it?
Shouldn't have ratted us out.
I believe that's the case. Let me just double check that. Simon, where does that ability come from as your monk?
Purity of body or purity of mind, something like that.
Yeah, purity of body, yeah. So unfortunately, you see the cloud go over, and whilst Enna turns slightly green, Lucan has no effect on it at all.
Aim as purity of mind didn't stop him from being a dick, but okay, that's fine. We'll continue.
Okay, so that's Truffle. So then it's also Vigo shooting his one shot because he's a rogue. Oh, that's a reasonable shot and not undercover, but because Lucan took patient defense. Oh, and that's a natural 20, so it still hits, but it does the lower because it was on that. So that's 4. Lucan has already used his reaction, so he can't catch that arrow. So you do see finally that Lucan is hit by an arrow, and just it does graze his neck and pulls some blood out of it. That is that. Is that all of the held actions? I'm going to take the silence as yes. So it is then Enna's turn. Enna is going to take some shots at Saluk.
Now, before she does so, can I just check something with you?
Of course you may.
My hitting the chandelier, now, although it did then fall and hurt people, would that count as an attack against someone, or would it just be me hitting a chandelier?
Well, you attacked the chandelier, so your attack was against that rather than against anybody. The fact that the chandelier then fell down is kind of the chandelier attacking people.
Okay.
Without it really being able to make that decision on its own, if that makes sense.
In which case, as I have yet to attack an enemy creature since our last long rest, I am under the effect of a sanctuary spell.
Yeah.
And can they, who is it?
Enna. She.
Can she please make it says DC, it doesn't say what it is.
It'll be
a
8.
Wisdom saving throw, please.
Yeah, it'll be 8 plus your proficiency.
Oh no, I've got the number. I just didn't know what skill it was.
Okay, cool. Wisdom.
A wisdom saving throw, 16 to beat.
Okay. Wisdom's pretty high. Let's have a look. Yeah, that is a natural 18 plus 9, 27.
Wow.
So is able
That's
to
the noise Luke would make if he was a duck.
Attack you.
Yeah, if.
He's not a duck.
I've not described him
duck?
thoroughly yet. You don't know.
Let me just check on a particular ability. Bear with me a moment.
Turns out all along I was like Goosekin.
Goosekin sounds like an amazing name for a character.
I'm Thelenar Goosekin.
Yeah, okay, so she is going to swing her axe at you. You are flanked because you're engaged with Lucan as well, so she does so at advantage. That is a 22 to hit.
Very much so.
Okay.
Much so.
She is also going to use her Divine Strike as a cleric to add 2d8 radiant damage to this attack. So it's 1d6 bludgeoning. So you take 7 points of bludgeoning damage and 13 points of radiant damage as you see the axe glow and cleave, aiming for your wing on your left-hand side. So there is a spatter of blood from Saluk as that attack hits. Erallur, it is now your turn. You can't do anything.
Move and I can
yes, you can
allies.
You can move and protect allies. You're right. I apologize.
So I can do some things. I can identify friends. I can follow them and I can protect them.
Yes.
So I would like to walk towards Enna and Lucan.
Okay. So you walk out past Saluk towards both of them.
And I'd like to stand between them and everyone else.
There's not really space to do that. You'd have to push Saluk out of the way.
I will do so.
Okay, I will say make a strength check. Saluk, Erallur is pushing you, despite the fact she doesn't look terribly intelligent.
I'm using my staff as well.
Saluk, Erallur seems to be pushing you a little bit hard in order to get in your space. What do you do?
My wing.
Okay, so
I rolled an 18.
Saluk, are you contesting this or are you letting her push you?
No, I think I'm too surprised.
Okay, so yeah, you managed to shove Saluk a little way out of the way.
So I'm going to stand there with my quarterstaff out in front of me in a defensive position, and my hand is shaking like this, and I'm just standing between them, and I can't do anything else.
Okay, back to the top of the round. It's now Elsie's turn.
Right. So obviously I shot my arrow, the cheeky bugger then just went, ha-ha. On battle cam, where are we? I know we're not on the board, but where is our entrance?
It is just where the pole of the camera rig is.
And there's a little cluster of people.
Yes, so you've got Lucan.
Yeah.
Enna. Saluk, obviously.
Yeah.
Truffle.
Yeah.
Erallur.
And Erallur, right, okay. And no one's really given a toddle about my illusion of the hourglass, have they?
No, they seem very involved in the fight, sadly.
Yeah, I thought that might gather people's attention. What I might do then is I'm going to reach into my trusty bag, and I think we all know what I'm going to reach for. I'm going to grab the ever-smoking bottle.
Okay.
I'm going to unstopper it and throw it into the room to hopefully make people stop.
Okay, I will say roll a dexterity attack then to throw it into the room.
Wasn't the last time you used this when you forgot about the wall and smoked yourself?
Yes. Dexterity, did you say?
Yes, because it's a throw.
22.
Okay, you give a hefty toss to the bottle and it lands in the cracked part of the table and smoke begins to emanate from it. I assume that you took the stopper out before you threw it.
Yes.
Okay.
I didn't say it, but, Elsie's not stupid. She's not Maud, so she will at least unstoppered it before she threw it.
Okay, but literally just before, otherwise the smoke just starts around you.
Yeah, so literally it's that moment is she just go...
Yeah, okay, so immediately a cloud of thick smoke pours out in a 60-foot radius, so that is 120 feet, which covers the entirety of the room and the corridor. So everything is smoke, everybody. Are you doing anything else?
Yeah, and then once this happens, I then just shout into the room, "How do you like them apples?"
There is just
Not
a lot.
very much.
This is bottle of smoke, not bottle of apples. I do not understand.
Okay, is that the end of your turn?
Yes.
Are you moving anywhere?
No, I'm going to stick beside Erallur because there is a part of me that still feels that she's still not 100%.
Okay, Flint, it is now your turn. Everything is obscured by smoke.
Okay, Saluk is obviously in the room. The rest of us are fairly close together, right? We're still all in the corridor?
Yes.
Okay, I'm going to turn around to everyone and go, right, we have the hourglass. I suggest we move and quickly. Does anyone have any objections?
Nope.
Lovely. So I'm going to run back in the direction of the door.
Okay, so back in the direction of the gilded door.
Yeah, the one that we were spying through.
Okay. As you go, can you just make a quick perception check for me? Oh, no, you won't be able to see because everything is smoke. So, no, well, make it anyway because you're still having to go past people in the smoke. So,
Natural one.
okay, you immediately trip over Maud, who lets out an ow as you go. But
Sorry.
you manage to get over towards the door. Are you opening the door or are you just going to the door?
Yeah, I'll open the door and hold it open for everyone.
Sorry, excuse me, I sneezed. So you will go over to the door and open it for everybody. Okay, end of your turn or are you just holding it open?
I'm going to hold it open. I'm going to hold an action if I see any one of my friends being attacked. I'm going to shoot the bloody hell out of it.
Okay, you won't see that because everything is smoke.
Well, if anyone comes into the corridor, I mean.
Got it. Okay. The door opens. That's the end of that. Truffle's turn.
Truffle is going to see if his breath weapon recharges. It does. He's going to let loose again in that case. So can everyone in a 15-foot cone make a dexterity saving throw for me, please?
So that would be... Lucan doesn't have to, so Luke doesn't have to because poison doesn't mean anything to them. So it would be Enna and Erallur.
Oh, not dexterity. Sorry, constitution.
Okay.
Oh,
so,
Erallur as well.
yeah, because it's 15-foot cone, mate. So it covers this.
Can I not point it in the direction of Enna?
I've got great constitution. I'll be fine.
I would say Truffle would need to make a perception check at disadvantage because of the smoke in order to aim it at only Enna.
As a reaction, could I shove her away?
No, can't
That's
shove.
20, not natural.
Yeah, I will say that with a 20 not natural, Truffle can see just Enna and Lucan, but it doesn't affect Lucan.
Sorry.
Just sorry, Ed. No, Simon, shoves you can't do as reactions. It's only opportunity attack kind of thing.
Fair enough.
Yes, sorry, Ed.
Yep, so if she can just make a Constitution saving throw.
She succeeds with a 17, so she takes half damage.
Yep, so that will be, I'll half it as we go, so 2, 4, 8 points of poison damage, and Truffle is going to fly away. I know that provokes an opportunity attack, but...
Down the corridor?
Yeah.
Okay, that would... would Enna take the opportunity attack?
And can she see as well?
That's the thing. Well, I'll roll a perception check to see if she sees, because her wisdom is quite high. She does not see. It's fine, so she can't make the attack. She doesn't see anything. So Truffle goes down the corridor towards you.
Yep.
Okay. What is his movement speed?
It's pretty high. It is a 60-foot flying.
Okay, so he could get down the corridor and into the room beyond if you want to.
Yeah, sure. Why the hell not?
Okay, he flies through. That is the end of Truffle's turn. It would then be Vigo's turn, but everything is smoke. Although, let me just see. Vigo did hear you, Flint, say it's time to go because you yelled it. So Vigo will, let's see what Vigo does. Okay, Vigo leaps over the balustrade into the smoke, and you hear this, ow, as he lands, seemingly hurting himself. And then you feel this rush of air go past you, Saluk, Erallur, and Elsie. It appears that Vigo has made it into the corridor, but not to the room beyond, because he took a dash action. Although with his cunning action, he could go further. So he does, and sprints past you, Flint, into the room beyond. And you hear a, oh, wait, what? Ah!
Can I see if the room that was the one we were in is still the same room?
On your turn, you can. Then it's Lucan's turn.
Not as a free action?
No, that is a perception check, my friend. You can't do perception check as a free action.
Okay.
It is Lucan's turn. Let me just roll. Oh, okay. So Lucan, because of how close he is to Erallur, can still kind of see her and doesn't seem to do anything. It is then Rue's turn, and that's interesting. Let me just have a look. Yeah, okay. Looking up spells. Sorry, bear with me. Yeah, okay. So they need to make wisdom saving throws. Okay. Ooh, they both fail. Okay. So you don't see what Rue does, as everything is obscured by smoke. It is then the Warforged's turn, and you hear the clank of boots as it starts to move towards you through the smoke and gets to about there, but can't move past anything. Okay, that's interesting. You see Erallur, the Warforged raises its massive blade and seems about to swing at you, but then there's a as it just hovers for a moment, as if indecisive, and lets go of its action. Juniper, it is now your turn.
Oh, so for all my allies that are in the smoke room, I would like to cast Seeming and basically make it. Oh, so this spell is like an illusion spell. They have to stay humanoid, so I can't make them look like smoke. But what I would like to do is, you know how like a tiger has stripes, and then when it's in the underbrush, it's all camouflaged?
Yeah.
I would like to sort of do like a smoke pattern, so they're more camouflaged in the smoke.
Okay, so sort of a grey dazzle pattern.
Yeah, kind of. Like, they'll still be themselves, but that's so they're harder to notice, so they'll have an easier time of scarpering.
Okay, like absolutely. So you notice personally, all of you, that your skin and clothes take on this strange, jagged, wispy shades of grey across the majority of you. You don't really know what it means. You hear Juniper casting a spell, so you assume it's something that she did, but you've all turned grey.
It's a very attractive look. Because I'm already in the corridor, aren't I? So
You are.
I might move a little bit backwards, I guess, but I'm
okay.
Not too far.
So you move towards the door, but not all the way.
Yeah, not all the way. Yeah.
Got it. So do you want
a slight retreat?
Okay. So do you want to stand next to Flint, or?
Yeah, I'll stand next to Flint.
Okay, I need you to make a perception check at disadvantage for me.
It's like a normal perception check then for a regular person. Okay, my lowest was a 15.
Hey, you manage just to get to that point. You don't go too far and apparently fall into whatever chamber Flint has accidentally summoned.
Yay, I love it. Also, my chandelier creation will still be attacking or trying to attack Rue on my turn.
Yeah.
As I haven't given it another thing. So if Rue's still there, I can do an attack roll.
You can, absolutely. And because it's in the smoke and because she's in the smoke, any disadvantage or advantage with the attack is cancelled out.
Cool.
So it's just a straight roll.
Awesome. Oh, that's probably a miss. Yeah, it's a 13.
Yeah, that hits.
Oh, cool.
She's not got a lot of armor. She's a spellcaster. They don't.
Bloody spellcasters. What they like? That's a 12.
12, nice. Okay, so again, it lashes out with a glittering tendril and slices through her back. You hear another very colourful curse emanate from her throat. It is then Onsterburn's turn, but he's gone. And then it is the tiefling's turn. Okay, that's interesting. So he turns around, but because everybody is blocking the way, he can't do much except cast another Eldritch Blast volley, this time at... Let me see. I'm going to roll a d4. Even numbers, it's Erallur. Odd numbers, it's Saluk. That's massively cocked. It's Saluk.
Am I technically still under the sanctuary spell?
I think that only lasts... No, because you've have you attacked?
No.
It's until another enemy attacks, isn't it? Rather than you.
You ward a creature with it, so me, against attack until the spell ends. So it lasts for... No, so it lasts until the end of my next long rest. If the warded creature makes an attack or casts a spell that affects an enemy creature, the spell ends. So it doesn't say that it ends once I've been attacked.
But you've not attacked. So yeah, it's still going. So I'll roll that saving throw then. That is a natural 1, so it fails. So it targets Erallur instead, because that's how it works.
I know, now I feel bad.
Because it attacks a different enemy instead of you. Well, no, it's Eldritch Blast, so he's rolling to hit you.
I get to do the change on my character.
Let me just double check, because I did make the rolls before. Erallur, what is your armor class?
13.
So, one of the Eldritch Blasts hits, because I rolled a 2 and a 3, and he does not have enough pluses. So you only take the 1 lot of damage.
Oh, I can do something to stop it, assuming I'm allowed to do abilities versus... I know I'm not allowed to do spells, but am I allowed to use...
I don't think you
According
are.
to this, it just says you can't cast spells, activate magic items, understand language, or communicate in any intelligible way. That's the only stuff I can't do.
That's a tricky one. What are you trying to do?
I was just going to use against the brain's pause 1 melee or spell attack hit to miss you as a reaction.
Yeah, because it doesn't say you can't take actions. It just says you can't cast spells, but this is an ability rather than a spell. So yeah, I'll allow it. So do I need to re-roll that attack?
No, it just misses.
It just misses. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. So that tiefling gentleman is very frustrated as all 3 deep, sickly green rays shoot towards Erallur and just seem to glance harmlessly off her. So that's the end of his turn. It's now Hobblelock's turn. He is going to try and escape the table again.
This is the real story.
Fails with a 2. That's a 1 and a 2. Okay, he is truly the worst. It's then Maud's turn. She can't see a thing, so she's going to take Flint's advice. And she rolls a natural 1 on her perception, so she runs, goes past all of you, and there is a as she falls into the room as well. Saluk, it is now your turn.
Okay, so when Erallur made the magical door into the room, is it like a physical door what we can close?
Yes.
And is it at the end of the corridor where we are or down by Flint?
Flint is holding open a different door. The door that Erallur opened is just behind both of you.
Okay, right. So I try to grab Erallur by the back. Then with her, I'm going to pull her as I run out of the room.
Okay, can you make a perception check first of all at a disadvantage, please?
Can I resist that?
You can if you want to.
Oh, it's really annoying. I rolled a 19, but then I rolled a 3, which would take it to 6.
You pour around in the smoke, and you think you've got Erallur in a talon.
Okay, and then I begin to run out the room, scraping my other hand along the wall to see if I can feel the door.
Okay, Erallur, are you resisting?
Am I still protecting anyone? Is there anyone there to protect?
You are standing in the same position that you were in before with the same people around you, except...
So, yes.
Yeah, essentially, yes.
So I will try and stay put.
Okay. Unfortunately, Sir Luke doesn't grab Erallur. He grabs the front of Lucan's vestments. And Lucan is going to resist that because you failed your perception check, I'm afraid, Simon. Could you roll the strength check for me, please?
I can. 0.
So you grab, you hear this, oi! And then the robes slip from your grasp. You do not have hold of Erallur, and whoever you did have hold of has escaped your grasp.
Okay. So my momentum takes me a little bit backwards into the corridor then.
Yeah.
Now, if I were to turn around, if I were to flap my wings, you know where I'm going with this.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure you've tried this before.
Oh, I did, didn't
Or
I?
Truffle did.
I can't remember.
Truffle tried it with his breath, I think.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure. I think your wings would count as being a moderate wind, being able to create a moderate wind, because that would be 11 to 20 miles per hour. Do you think that's fair, or?
Whatever you say. Yeah, that sounds...
The problem comes from the fact that the bottle is still open and still emanating smoke. So you could maybe get rid of the smoke from 10 feet around you for a bit, but it wouldn't carry on.
How long would you predict it would clear the space for?
A round, because the smoke spreads every single round.
Okay.
So it would only last 6 seconds, I think, unless you were constantly flapping your wings, at which point you're starting to risk exhaustion because you're having to flap them so hard.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm going to do it. I'm going to flap my wings towards the room to try and push the smoke back in an area for a round in the hopes it will give my allies some increased visibility for a short amount of time.
Okay.
After I do so, before my first flap and the noise of the air moving, I call to Erallur, say, Erallur, come quickly.
Okay.
I can't understand language.
Sir Luke does not know this.
No. Also, Sir Luke, as you flap your wings and you clear it in this area, you notice, curious thing about Erallur, she's facing you, and she seems to be in a defensive stance in front of Lucan.
Oh, damn.
Is that the end of your turn?
Yeah, I think so. There's not really anything else I can do that would be of use.
Okay, so it is then Enna's turn. The smoke is cleared around her for a bit. Oh, that's cocked. That's not a good roll. She looks at Erallur curiously and doesn't really understand what you're trying to do, Erallur, so hefts her axe and tries to hit you in the back. Okay, that's a natural 20. So she does 1d6 bludgeoning. And they rolled a 2, so that's +4, but every round she can do the divine strike thing, which she is going to do. So that's 2d8, and that's 2 8s. So 16, 32. So you take 7 points of bludgeoning damage and 32 points of radiant damage. But
I'm resistant to radiant.
So you take 16 points of radiant damage then.
So what's that in total?
24 points of damage altogether, as you see the axe glimmer again and strikes you just above the right hip bone. It's very painful. Erallur, it is now your turn as you've taken this axe to the side.
I just stay put. Yeah, I suppose I'm using the dodge action.
Okay, yeah, you can do that.
But I'm trying to create a barrier, but I don't think that's an action. I think it's just me standing there. So
yeah.
But I'm not using a help action for anyone.
Yeah, and I think as well, because your intelligence is 1, it means that the actions you can take are very limited, but I feel like your instincts would be enough that you would be ready for another attack after this.
Yeah.
Does that seem fair?
Technically, I can attack.
Yes.
Melee.
And your wisdom score is still
Yeah.
as high as it was, even though your wisdom score isn't terribly high, but you still have a
My wisdom's
degree
good.
of, so you still have a degree of knowledge, even if your intelligence isn't terribly high. So I think, it makes sense that you would take the dodge action and understand what a body barrier is, even if you're not necessarily deploying it in the most intelligent way.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
So dodge action.
Got it. End of the round. Elsie, you are up.
So I'm still a bit not confused, but obviously we still don't know where the people are disappearing. Like where they're going down the corridor, or like where Maud's gone
through the door where the screams happened. Yeah.
Yeah. So I've still got Erallur next to me.
But you can see that she is facing you, not facing the attackers.
Yes. So I grab her hand, and if she's willing to come with me, we go towards the other door or where everyone else has gone.
Erallur, are you willing to go with her?
I mean, is anyone still attacking anyone?
Not at the moment, though. From what you can see, you heard the clanking of feet coming towards you. The area of the breezed smoke that Salute got rid of doesn't quite cover further than the immediate vicinity around you, so it cuts off where the metal person and the tiefling are, so you can't really see them at the moment. But Lucan and Enna just attacked you.
Yeah. What's more interesting? So can I see that basically everyone is gone?
You can see that a fair few people have moved out of the corridor, yes, and you didn't see them come past you.
Okay, well, following people is also something I should do according to the spell. So I think I will.
Okay, so Elsie takes you by the hand and starts to lead you down the corridor. Do you go the entire way, Elsie?
From hearing them scream when they got to a certain point, does it sound like they got to the end of the corridor before that happened, or?
Make a perception check.
As Elsie passes by me, I, through wing flaps, grunt, "Elsie, shut the door!"
That was a 21.
The screams seem to happen once they went through the door.
Oh, okay.
You also hear Salute tell you to close the door as you're walking past. Probably running past.
So the door that he's asking me to close, is that not going to close him in the room?
No, he's in the corridor.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so I pause for a second when he says that. I then turn around. Is the door still within reach or not now, because I've moved away from it?
You'd maybe have to go back about 5 feet in order to close it. So you've used
I kind of
10 feet.
Mm-hmm. So I get close enough that I can kick the door closed, so I don't have to go all the way up to it to close it, if that makes sense. So I kind of
that makes sense.
Go, kick the door to close it, to then carry on down the corridor.
Okay. And do you take your cunning action to dash? Or do you just dash in general?
I just dash in general, because I'm not really doing anything else other than the kick.
Because you're pulling Erallur with you, your speed is halved.
Mm-hmm.
Your speed is 25, I think. Yeah, so you would be able to go 25 feet, which is the majority of the corridor. You can then dash again using your cunning action if you want to.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm happy to do that.
Okay. Can you make a perception check for me, please?
25.
At disadvantage because the smoke will have made it down here.
21.
Okay. You get to the end of the corridor and the door that Flint has opened, and you just manage to stop yourself from going over a drop into an entirely black chamber beyond. The door just seems to be hovering in space.
Maybe this wasn't the best idea. I can look at Erallur. Is she still vacant?
Yeah.
Not vacant, but...
Slack-jawed.
It feels mean to push her. I turn around and shout to Saluk, "Do we jump or not?"
Jump where? Saluk has not seen this yet. Saluk is still facing the room and has never been down this corridor.
Into a dark hole.
You do not have wings. Jumping is rarely a good idea.
What'd you do, Adam? Come on.
Sod it. I jump.
Oh, okay. Can I use my free action to say something beforehand?
I think you would have had to try and interrupt. You can say it now, just as Elsie is starting to jump, but...
There's no point. I was going to close the door.
Okay. Elsie, are you still holding hands with Erallur?
Yeah, I don't think I would have let go.
Okay. Erallur, could you make a perception check at disadvantage for me?
9.
Yep. Erallur, you don't seem to see anything wrong with this, and as you like to follow, you jump as well. I need both of you to make dexterity saving throws, if you would.
6.
Okay.
At disadvantage, did you say?
Oh, no, dexterity straight.
Yeah, dexterity straight. So what was that? That was 29.
So you plummet quite a long way, it feels like. The wind is whistling past you. You are out of the smoke now. Again, the chamber is pitch black. And eventually you come to land on hard stone. It feels like marble. It's very smooth and glitters slightly, despite the fact there's not a lot of light around. Elsie, you managed to perform a 3-point landing, but in order to do so, you have to let go of Erallur's hand. Erallur, you just fall prone and hit your head quite hard against the stone. Elsie, you take 10 points of bludgeoning damage from the fall.
Of course.
Erallur, you take 21 points of bludgeoning damage from the fall.
Oopsie.
Okay, that's the end of Elsie's go. Flint, your turn.
Well, having seen Elsie and Erallur jump in, I'll shout after them, What's down there? Right, I'm going to hold my action to jump down, but Truffle's going to go down in his turn, I think.
Okay, yep, so Truffle zooms down.
What can Truffle see?
Make a perception check for Truffle, please.
Okay, because he has dark vision as well, so that's 20, not natural.
He can see a vast dark room, bigger than his dark vision radius, mostly apparently made of marble, but it stretches further than his eyes can see.
Okay, fuck it, Flint's going to jump.
Okay, I need you to make a dexterity saving throw for me then, please.
That's a 20, not natural.
Okay, you jump and manage to just get enough lift that you don't immediately bash into the wall. From hearing the others fall, you get a sense of how far the drop is, and you manage to just brace yourself and turn over on your shoulder in order to stop your momentum. It's quite a free running move. It's a pity that not many people can see it, given how dark it is. You take 9 points of bludgeoning damage as your ankles just creak slightly as you come back up to your feet.
Okay. Yep, that's all I will do.
Okay, so that's Truffle's and Flint's turns. It's then Lucan's turn. He will try and search for the door handle, but cannot find it because when the door shut, it disappeared. So, and then that's okay too. They will do the same things. Okay, so Flint, Erallur, Elsie, and Maud, you see a light from the level that you are at appear in the shape of a doorway, and the strange metal man appears holding onto the doorknob, having just opened a door into the space in which you are. But it's some distance off. It's maybe 100 feet away. The only reason you can see it is because light is spilling out, as is smoke, into the room as well. So that's that. Juniper, it is now your turn.
Yay. Okay, well, I will also jump into the chamber.
Okay, can you make a dexterity saving throw for me, please?
I mean, I'm a follower. Oh, well, that was an 18 because it turns out I have a +7 to dexterity saving throw.
Nice.
Because
15.
of course I do. I'm proficient in them.
So you take 7 points of bludgeoning damage as you jump and land, but because you're smaller, you manage to just splay yourself across all fours and manage to spread the damage a little bit. It hurts, but you're okay.
Good. I shake myself. Is it just darkness?
Yes. Do you have dark vision?
I'm a dog. Yeah.
Yeah, so you can see
Dogs can see in the
for
dark.
a little distance, and you can see the outline of the door with smoke pouring out of it and the metal man silhouetted. but this room is apparently just a large marble space, really.
Fun. Does the Metal Man seem like he is here for harm?
Roll an insight check.
Oh, I will do indeed. That was a 17.
It's hard to read because he has a metal face, so
Fair enough.
emotion is difficult. He's not immediately rushed into the room, but you get the sense that given that he's pursuing you, there is a definite possibility that he is still intent on at least capturing you.
Oh, that requires concentration. Okay, interesting to know. I'm guessing my chandelier is still attacking Rue.
Well, the range on it is 120 feet. I believe you are now out of that range.
That's fine. I don't know how far I will. So if I'm no longer doing that spell, I mean, a metal man is a person, right?
Does the spell specify constructs?
It says choose a humanoid.
What spell is it?
Choose a
Sorry.
humanoid. Hold person.
Hold person. Let me have a look. Because
there is like a hold monster.
Yeah, but I have a feeling it says.
It would depend what he's classed as. Is he? Did you say he's Warforged?
Yeah. Oh no, it doesn't. So yeah, because it doesn't say it doesn't work on constructs, which is interesting. So you could definitely give it a shot.
Nice. I will do that.
Okay,
I'm just
so
to make a wisdom saving throw.
Okay. What's the DC?
17.
He rolled a 17. His wisdom is -1.
Yeah.
I hate hold person. So you see the Warforged open the door and Juniper weaves a spell and immediately stops, door open, but blocking the way as a result of the hold person.
There might be another door in here. We don't know.
Well, I mean, doors appear on request in here, remember, so it doesn't mean that you're out of the woods yet. Is that the end of your turn?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. Hobble Knock will again try and escape. Oh my god! I have rolled in sequence a 1, a 2, and a 3. He is still stuck under the table.
He's gaining his strength.
Oh, it's ridiculous. Right, okay, it's then the tiefling's turn, but they're in the way of the door, so he can't do much. And he can't see you because of the smoke. So yeah, can't do anything. Holds an Eldritch Blast in case. And Saluk, it is now your turn. You are the last one left in the corridor, I believe.
Okay. So in front of me now, presumably the door's disappeared on my side as well.
It has, yes. As soon as it was kicked shut by Elsie, the door disappeared.
Is the peephole still there?
The screen is still there, yes.
So I can still see into the room?
You can, but it's weird because it's at a different angle to where you were, because it's across there.
Oh, of course.
And
yes,
everything is smoke.
Ah, so it's like I can see, but it's just, yeah.
Yeah, it's like you're in a cloud.
Okay, right. Whew, with a sigh of relief, I turn around and run down the corridor and presumably get to the precipice.
You do, yeah.
And can I see anything if I look down?
Roll a perception check for me, please.
10.
You can see darkness and smoke.
Ooh, lovely. I jump down.
Okay, I will say make a dexterity saving throw then, please.
And I use my reaction for slow fall as I go.
Yeah, okay, that's fine. So could you roll a dex check for me? Dex saving throw, sorry, not check.
My dex saving throw is 30.
Jesus Christ. Okay. And I believe you ignore, is it 5 times your monk level?
What, for slow fall?
Yes.
I reduce my falling damage by 70.
Yes, so you take no damage from the fall.
Cool.
Okay, so you are now all on the ground.
Is everybody here?
Just about.
I do a head count.
Yeah, everybody's here. A few people look a little bit worse for wear. You can see that Maud is rubbing her shoulders. You can see that Vigo is similarly a little bit woozy looking, as if he took a hard landing, but everybody seems to be in the immediate area.
Okay. And I can see, presumably, the people coming through the door, or trying to get through the door. Anyway.
You can see the stalled Warforged in the doorway, yes.
Okay. Right. The meeting is a bust. We have the hourglass. We know the lady's enemy. I say we try and find her. And then, can I create a door on the floor?
Yeah, sure.
I reach down to the floor, and do I think it or say it?
You get the sense that it has been either.
And I say, take us to the lady.
No door appears.
That was a long shot. Take us to safety.
Okay, so the door opens and you are faced with, again, a slightly odd view because you are looking down out onto a street outside the Archividium. So it's almost as if the street falls away from you, but the bottom of the street is going vertically down and you see the buildings either side of it. It's a weird perspective shift.
Okay. I get my wings ready and hop through.
Okay, can you make another dexterity saving throw for me, please?
13.
Okay, you hop through and there's a brief moment where you flare your wings and just manage to seat yourself so that you slide on your back, but it doesn't injure you in any way because the gravity immediately pulls you onto your back, even though you've hopped legs first through, just because it's a shift in 90 degrees of a gravity change.
Oh, I do not like that at all. Oh.
Okay,
And
sorry, Simon.
Roll out of the way.
Okay, what are the rest of you doing?
I'll follow suit
Okay,
and try and go through this now door on the floor.
Okay, can everybody who's doing that make a dexterity saving throw for me, please?
Oh no. Oh, 11.
Okay.
6.
Okay.
14.
Okay. Erallur?
Sorry, I didn't realise you wanted me to do it too.
Well, I assume you're following them, but it's up to you,
Yeah,
obviously.
I guess I would be. Pretty good. 19.
Okay, so Juniper, what did you get again? Sorry?
14.
Elsie and Flint, you, again, land quite heavily. And Elsie, this time, it doesn't damage you necessarily, but it just wins you both, as you aren't really expecting to suddenly slide through a door that's forwards anyway and then land flat on your backs. So there's a brief moment where you're just caught going, everybody else seems better with the gravity shift, including Erallur, who just seems to glide happily into this new state of being, despite the fact that she's still slightly slack-jawed and just staring around at everything with wonder. The door still hangs open for a moment, and then once you've left it, it seals shut on the wall of the Archividium. The door is still present, but given what's happened before, you get the sense that it would only go to the same room if somebody requested it. You are now out in the streets of Elallur. A little worse for wear, it has to be said, but apparently free of the people pursuing you for now. What do you do?
I'm going to take a look at Erallur. How's Erallur doing?
Roll an insight check.
14.
Not great. Something's gone terribly wrong.
Okay. I suggest that we grab Erallur's bag, if someone hasn't already, and we make a move.
Well, where are we going?
Who knows? Back down.
Yeah, but I know the meeting's a bust, so we can't really report to Manshun, but is there anywhere safe that we can go so he can't get to us, or they can't get to us? Because I don't think... Well, let's run and discuss. And Vigo starts leading the way towards the lower tiers.
We should find somebody who can heal her, and then we need to find the lady.
What's happened to Erallur?
I do not know, but she does not look right.
Well, no, you can say that again, and you can see that while she is following you, she's slightly slower than the rest of you and seems to just be staring about her in childlike wonder, particularly at a butterfly that just flits past. So, are you just running?
Yeah, I guess so.
I think just making our way down to the lower sections of the city.
Juniper, as you're running, you feel a strange hum in the stones beneath your feet. There's always a degree of vibration to Elallur. From when you set foot here, there has always been a soft frisson of energy. But this is more of a lurch, and it's just there for a moment. And then there's another one. And then you feel a more severe lurch. Can everybody make a perception check for me, please?
12.
11.
21.
13.
22.
Elsie, Erallur, you feel just before it happens, something quake through the stone of Elallur. And as you're looking around and the rest of you start to notice the franticness with which Elsie is looking, cracks start to appear in the floor. And then you glance up at the sky and you see strange purplish energy rippling in the wind, but it's too slow and strangely drifting to be a natural wind. And then the city lurches again, hard and fast enough for you to all feel it. And you start to hear screaming as the city begins to plummet towards the ground. What are you all doing?
Would this be a bad time to leave the party?
This is literally where I had like an actual plan that I've been planning since before we got to this island for how we'd get off the island in an emergency, and I literally can't do it.
I think that was probably the plan.
So I'll just mute myself, you guys.
I'm trying to remember. I've lost track. So, Erallur, do you still have the feather, or is that...
No, I don't have the feather anymore.
Right, okay. So we lost that in hell. Okay.
Juniper's like counting her fingers. I can turn 5 people into birds.
How big?
Like an eagle, maybe?
Okay, so I suggest, and I say this very loudly as there's a all around, I'm assuming. But, right, Juniper, turn Erallur into a bird. Saluk, seeing as you can already fly, you make sure that Erallur doesn't fly off thinking she's an actual bird. So that just leaves how many of us? 4 more.
Oh yeah, so me, you, Maud, and Vigo.
Okay, and Juniper, do you have anything that can make you fly at all?
Couldn't Sir Luke carry Juniper?
No, I can't carry anything. It's too heavy.
Yes, just to clarify, are you thinking of casting polymorph?
Yeah, because you don't turn your intelligence, but you turn your alignment and personality.
Yes.
So I'm thinking just like with feeble mind, Erallur can still follow people. I'd imagine you could still know this is a friend and I'm going to follow these guys, even if you can't do anything more helpful than exist as a bird. If that makes sense. That's my thinking.
Yeah, so the thing is, the new form can be any beast whose challenge rating is equal to or less than the target's. So
pretty high challenge rating.
That's what I'm thinking. Yeah. So the thing is, with polymorph, and given what Juniper's seen over the course of the thing, you would be able to transform people into giant eagles.
Oh, and they're like actually intelligent, aren't they?
And they can carry people.
Nice.
I mean, they're not massively intelligent. I think their intelligence is 8.
Let's have a look. Their intelligence is 8. That's pretty good.
Yeah, well, it's a -1. So it's if you cast it on Erallur, she would be smarter briefly.
As smart as a giant eagle.
Check out like answers.
Yeah.
Okay.
But they would be able to carry you.
I will transform Erallur into a giant eagle.
Okay, just Erallur? There are quite a few of you, remember?
I think I have to like do each one separate though. I don't think.
Oh yeah, you're right, aren't you? Yeah, if only one person.
So I think I'd have to be like one. I can't. It's not like.
And it is concentration, so you can't do it more than once.
Oh yeah, that's true. Ah, damn it. Well, sorry about that. Oh, I can turn into a giant eagle. I turn into a giant eagle.
Okay, so Juniper turns into a giant eagle. Do you all gather on her back?
Sure, why not? I'm not surprised in the slightest that Juniper has turned into a giant eagle.
So that's Maud, Elsie, Vigo, Flint. Truffle can fly on his own. Saluk can fly on his own. And then Erallur. So there's 5 people on Juniper's back. Unless Saluk, are you flying on your own, or are you getting onto the Juniper eagle?
Oh, I'll fly on my own.
Okay.
Never trust another person's wings.
Just as the city is starting to reach a very heady velocity, Juniper wings burst from her back, talons scratch the ground beneath her, and her muzzle hardens into a sharp, cruel beak, and she lets out a shrill cry. Those of you who do not have the ability to fly settle onto her back, and then she takes off, I assume. Juniper, can you make a constitution saving throw as the eagle, please?
Eagle. Okay, hold on. I need to get the eagle stats up again. Eagle stats. Okay, my con is okay as an eagle, I guess. I mean, it's a 10.
Okay. You flap your wings hard and you manage to crest over the falling city. but carrying this many people is difficult. You won't be able to last terribly long.
Can I fall with style?
You certainly can. Yeah, make a dexterity check with the eagle.
Cool. Somewhere soft.
Can I help by lending my knowledge of flying and landing spots?
I'll say roll an insight check as well, Juniper.
Okay. So the insight is 18, because of course it is.
Okay, you understand fully what Sir Luke is trying to do. He is trying to guide you to the ground.
Wonderful. And it's +3 for my dex. Oh, that's a 15.
Okay, it's not the most elegant of landings, but you do manage to come through to some scrub brush where there are some bushes that you think if anybody did fall off you, they'd be able to have a relatively soft landing. And you scritch around a little bit and the wings are a little bit unsteady. And a few of you have to really grab on to the feathers quite hard in order to do it, but you do manage to get everybody to the ground safely. As you all turn, you see Eileen still plummeting until the very last moment, at which point more of those strange purple tendrils seem to brush off it. And whilst still moving, it seems to be going very, very slowly. And you can see chunks of earth thrown up by its impact, but then it seems to reverse a little bit in the air and then begin its fall anew, as if stuck in a time loop. You are all tired, back on the ground, but seemingly in a much worse situation than you thought you ever could be. Flint, could you roll an Arcana check for me? Juniper, could you do the same, please?
As an eagle?
Yes. Unless you've dropped your form.
No, I'm still an eagle. That's
15.
intelligence, isn't it? Hold on. I'm rolling. You know what? It's a 6.
Flint, something is wrong with the weave. And that's where we're going to end tonight's session. Thank you very much for playing. Sorry, it was very complicated. Despite what Adam said, I didn't necessarily anticipate a fight. And then when it happened, everybody was there. So I had to deal with a lot of initiatives. I apologize for any mistakes or for any boredom that might have caused. Thank you very much for listening. Everybody who wants to say bye, say bye.
Goodbye.
Bye-bye.
Bye bye.